and welcome to the pod. I'm your host, Grace, and with us we have Shazia, who's going to teach us all about how to become a lawyer. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So I know it's a specific type of law, so maybe just give us an overview of what kind of a lawyer you are.
Okay, so I specialise in crime. I also do divorce and I do immigration, but predominantly my business is dominated by motoring offences and crime, and a few percent divorce and immigration as well.
Yeah, so sometimes that comes through, but where you specialise in is the motor crime.
Motor crime and crime, general crime.
Got you.
Like assaults and all sorts of violent disorders, being out drinking in public and causing a nuisance of yourself.
Wow.
So we do all of it.
You're a defence lawyer, right?
I am, yes.
And that's different. So what does that mean?
So defence lawyer means that we protect members of the public and people reach out to us who actually need our support. So we're not acting on behalf of the police. We're not prosecuting the matters. We're defending people that can, unfortunately, innocently be charged with an offence which they know very little about. So we step in and support everyone that needs our support, really.
Wow. It's very impressive. It's a wide range, and I can't wait to hear more about it because you have your own firm, right?
I do.
Which is amazing.
Thank you.
So we'll talk about how you got there, but let's just go right back to the beginning. And did you always want to be a lawyer when you were growing up?
No, so as crazy as it sounds, I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an ice cream driver.
What made you want to do that? It's so random.
I wanted to be an ice cream driver, a truck driver.
Yeah.
And then I just became a lawyer. So I don't know, it's crazy. It's just something that I always saw and I really admired. I was like, how do they serve all these people?
Yeah.
And it was to serve the community factor that kind of resonates with what I do right now.
Yeah.
I saw, as a child, who doesn't see ice cream vans?
Yes, of course.
And I was like, oh, I wish I could do that and I could serve all these kids. I can buy all my, give them ice creams.
Yeah.
But I became a lawyer. I fell into law.
That the community side of it is what you wanted, which is so nice.
I've always believed there's a bigger purpose for everyone here.
Yeah.
There definitely is, no matter what. We can all chase as much as we like, but everybody has a purpose in this universe. And I believe my purpose is to help as many people as I possibly can.
I love that. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
And I know when you were growing up, you sort of started working when you were 14, right? To help fund your education.
It's crazy, isn't
What
it?
did you do?
So I started working in restaurants, like working 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week. I worked in a Mexican restaurant. I remember it was 6 till 9. And I did 2 or 3 days there. After 14, after I, started to explore, when I had a little bit of experience, and I worked in another restaurant, an Arabic restaurant.
Yeah.
And then I've always worked. I've never not worked.
Yeah.
I just don't know what life would be like without working, to be honest.
Yeah, that is amazing that you were so committed from such a young age to your own education.
Absolutely.
Because you did it for tutoring and stuff, right? That's what you're paying for.
So yeah, it's crazy because I look back at it. My children are now the age I was when I started. And I'm like, oh my God, she can't go out and go. Because I actually went to a telephone box. They had the BT boxes.
I do.
They used to have those red ones as well. Probably before your time.
Yeah, I think I kind of recall.
recall. But yeah, so I remember stood in a phone box with the yellow pages back then, and I was calling all these restaurants.
Wow.
With the money that I'd been given for bus fare and school dinner. And I was just calling all these restaurants and seeing if they would be open to giving me some work. And back then, obviously, as 14, I know you weren't supposed to work, but they were quite relaxed.
Yeah, definitely.
And I used to get a little package with some what the amount it was, and the money would be in an envelope, and it was every week, and I loved it. So I started buying my own uniform, and I then bought my weakest subject, as crazy as it sounds, it was French. I was terrible at French, but because the teacher had said to me, no doubt you won't do well in this subject, don't worry, I'll give you positive feedback. I wasn't interested in the positive feedback back then. I was like, well, she said I'm not going to do well, so I need to make sure I do well.
Yeah.
I actually hired a tutor. So once again, back in the phone box.
Yeah, literally.
I found the yellow pages, found tutors, rang around, and I wish I could remember his name. He was absolutely amazing. I just remember he wore glasses, and he took a week's salary every time I saw him.
Yeah.
But I used to go see him at a cafe, and he would teach me French, and he managed to get me a really top score in French.
That's amazing.
I know, but I was so determined to make sure that if I couldn't do something, I made sure I was able to do it.
It's an amazing mindset from such a young age, especially like, if I'm guessing because of you working at that age, it's not something that your family could probably afford for you to do. So for you to spend your own money on that is amazing dedication.
Oh, thank you.
Do you look back at it and like you're really grateful that you did it?
I am, honestly, everything I've done, even though obviously people make mistakes, I've had so many setbacks in life, but do you know, I'm glad I had them because they've taught me skills that I would never naturally have, like resilience. I've got more confidence. I'm fantastic at problem solving now. But back then, I didn't realise that was me. So, but when you look at it and when you analyse it, well, okay, the teacher told me that I wasn't going to do well in French. So what did I go and do?
Yeah.
Problem solve.
Yeah.
I found a tutor, I found a cure, I found my solution, and I went and got it. And I think 15, 16, I was buying my own uniforms. I was going to school. When I was older, I paid for my own driving lessons at 17. Got my license as soon as I possibly could. I did everything myself because I was so determined to make sure it worked.
Yeah, 100%. I just think that's amazing. Like that outlook and being so self-aware of what you need to do to get where you want to go is an amazing trait. Like you're not going to let something overcome you, which I think is really
Absolutely
great.
not. And if it follows me through, like I'm still like that now. Somebody's like, well, I don't think you can do that. Well, okay, hold on.
We'll see.
Hold on, let me try. I don't believe, and the children have been taught the same. There's no such thing as I can't.
Yeah.
Is I can and I will.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've tried your uttermost best, then okay, fair enough. Take off the gloves.
Yeah.
But try your best.
Yeah. 100%.
Always try your best. Like I said this in another interview, and my son, I don't care how he's done, he's accompanied me today and I love him to bits. Just wanted a day out with his mom. And he's come out of every single GCSE and said, you know what, Mum, that was all really good.
Yeah.
Positive mindset. I hope he's done really, really well. But even if he hasn't, the fact that he's got that mindset really encourages me. And I'm like, I am certainly doing something right in life because he's so positive. His whole outlook on life is positive.
Yeah.
And nothing can get him down. Well, obviously, like we're all going to experience things in life, but his mindset is like, you know what? It's good, Mum. It's all right. It's good.
Aww.
We'll get there. We'll do it.
How lovely.
I love that. Yeah.
What a great reward for you as well.
I know. He is amazing. I never tell him that though. I should.
Yeah.
But
He'll
he is
hear
amazing.
it on this now. So
yeah. He'll have to listen, won't he?
So you obviously got yourself through the education, you got great grades, and you went to university.
Yes.
And is that where you chose law?
Not really. No, it's crazy because I did my GCSEs, I went to college, and then I carried on, and I was working in KFC. It's actually how I met my now husband. But we were working together as teenagers, and then later on in life, we just got back together. And when I say got back together, we weren't together in the first instance. We were just like working together.
You knew each other.
We knew each other, and then 10 years on, we're like, do you know what? We're best mates.
Yeah.
Let's make it work, and we did, and we're now happily married. 17 years on and 3 kids.
That's amazing.
I know. But we met at KFC. Ironically, he was my supervisor.
Oh, right.
In KFC. But he was the same age. We were all the same, around the same age, and it was such a fantastic job. It's probably one of my best jobs working in KFC.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's always good to know. Like the smaller jobs are the ones that surprise you sometimes and teach you so much.
But it taught me work ethic. Taught me how to communicate with the public. It was amazing because, like I said, every experience I've had shaped the direction of my career.
Yeah.
And it gave me a skill set that I would never had had I not worked at a young age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you pick law?
Okay. So as a Pakistani Muslim living in the UK, well, I was born and raised here, but my parents weren't. So when they came here, we experienced a lot in, racism.
Yeah.
And a lot of experiences occurred. And I saw lots of injustices occurring around me, not just with myself, but there was a community. There was random stop and searches absolutely no reason at that. And I was like, oh, I wish I could help that person. I wish I could do this. You know, like you'd see someone being thrown to the ground and you think, oh my God, what's that person done?
Yeah.
So back then I was always curious as to why is this happening? Why, you know, back then, obviously, I don't know if they did anything wrong or not, but my big thing was, well, they're being really mistreated. You know, that there's a reason why things are happening, and maybe I need to know why so I can help people. And I did. I fell into law. Not an ice cream driver, unfortunately.
Yeah, literally.
I fell into law and I made it work.
Yeah.
I went to the University of Northumbria, did my bar vocational course there, studied, and I was so fortunate because, once again, just determination, sheer determination. At the time, I didn't think it, but I realised straight after, I applied to like 142 jobs.
Yeah.
And within 3 weeks, I got my first interview, and the first interview, he offered me a job straight away.
142.
142 applications,
Wow.
CVs. Now, the craziest thing is about that, I say it with so much joy because now not many people would think about it, but back then, just coming out of uni, like I went and got really detailed paper and I went to W.H. Smith, which was our big thing back then, got quality paper, had somebody help me draft my CV. Then I drafted the CV, posted them out, and it was 142 law organisations. And I remember it and I'm like, oh my God, nowadays people won't do that. They just probably give up after 10 and say, but back then, I'm still determined right now, but back then, I think, oh my God, I've always been so determined and ambitious, and it follows me through. And I think that makes a fantastic lawyer, as far as I'm concerned. If you're determined and you persevere, you will get what you need to, get, and you will achieve the result you need to achieve. But determination and resilience and perseverance are absolute essentials to being a lawyer, a really good lawyer.
That is an amazing piece of advice for anyone doing it.
Thank you.
Because I also know that when you were studying, you were doing nights as a nurse, right? So even the thought of me studying law feels like a lot.
Okay.
And it feels like a lot of work. But then also working as a nurse at night to get yourself through school, it must have been exhausting.
It was, and I really, honestly, looking back now, I was like, oh my God, how did I do it?
Really?
I was doing nights, so I found an agency, and obviously banking, they call it now, but back then there was no title to it. So I found agencies, and I'd work night shifts, not every night, of course, but I would get some night shifts in order to accommodate my lifestyle at university. And that's what got me through my degree, working nights as an auxiliary nurse. But even prior to that, I was always once I'd left KFC, I went straight into auxiliary nursing. So then the first shift I got was actually in an A&E ward.
Wow.
And I was just helping patients, making their beds and, using a bedpan.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, do you know what? This is good. I'm helping people. So what can I do more? So then I did a course, which was moving and handling. And the course taught you how to use hoists. I don't know if you know what hoists are.
I don't.
So it's basically, it helps residents, people that are bedbound, move them from the bed, lift
Makes
them
sense.
and put them in a chair.
Yeah.
Or, just safely handling people. But yeah, I did that at university. And you know what? 19, 20, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's
I did
an
it all.
amazing work ethic, honestly.
But yeah.
I think it's really lovely to hear someone just say how much hard work it really is,
It is.
but what you need to do to be successful.
Yeah.
Because you said you were lucky you got that first job, but you put in the work. There's a lot of applications, and like you say, it's not many
142.
people, would do that. So you landed your first job, and what was that?
So it was a high street law firm, and it was fantastic.
Really?
The best experience because that then shaped my direction of what I was doing, because I realised I was very, very good at talking to people and getting work.
Yeah.
And because I had a genuine belief that I could actually help and touch everyone who I'd spoken to. So when I'd go to court, I was determined to make sure that I was helping. And this was just, as a trainee. And I was talking, I was networking, I was doing some advocacy, not so much early days, basically, but when you're a trainee, you don't do much advocacy. You can possibly do administrative applications, like where there's no magistrates or judge.
Right.
But you can, you don't need like what we refer to as rights of audience. You can actually, if an application needs to be adjourned and there's no judge in the room, you can actually go and do that with just a clerk who sits below the judge. I don't know if you ever watch courtrooms.
I've seen like only on like shows and films and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was doing little bits of that, but then outside of that, I was actually talking to clients, and I was signing up clients, and I was getting to know people, and I realized back then, God, I'm very good at sales.
Yeah.
And you have to be a salesperson as a lawyer.
Really? That's interesting.
It's crazy, but if you're not good at sales, you will not be successful in running a law firm.
Yeah.
No, you have to know a bit of sales, a bit of marketing in order to help you get through until you've established yourself, so you can actually do, you can then delegate your, the work that needs to be done. But I taught myself sales, I taught myself marketing. It's crazy how much I know now about marketing.
Yeah, that is wild, isn't it?
But it's...
You do hear that in a lot of different like industries, that you go into it thinking you're going to be not just because it's a huge job, but a lawyer, but really everything else comes with it. And you must have grown up the ranks there. And how long did that take?
What, setting up the law firm? Or?
Well, until you got to the law firm, before you thought, I'm going to take the leap here, how long were you working as a lawyer? Right,
so this is my 26th year of working in law. So I was called to the bar in 2001. So I've been doing law since 2001.
Got you.
So it's crazy. I was doing a lot of, I did in-house work, and then I decided to do freelance work, I think in 2007 or 8.
Okay.
And then in 2008 I got married. So I decided, okay, I need to buy a house now. So whilst heavily pregnant, crazy as it sounds, I was like, I need to save a deposit. I mean, back then, obviously, I was quite frivolous with cash. You're young. I was actually living in London. It was crazy.
Really?
I was, yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I was living in London, working all over. The courts are the best here in the country.
Really?
Honestly, I love the courts
Why?
here. Because there's so much diversity. There's so much culture in London.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And, my experiences in London were like, the clerks knew one another, the magistrates were like polite, the judges knew you, it was just such a unified place to be. Everybody just got on one, there was no hostility. Yeah, you were arguing against each other, but there was nothing untoward about the relationship. It was just an amazing place to work, and I loved it. I was here for a long period of time. And then when I got pregnant with my son in 2011, I was like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
I need to buy a house. Okay, well, what do I do now? So I was doing loads and loads of work, police stations, court duties, and I raised a deposit for a house.
Wow, that is so impressive.
I actually moved in to my house on the due date, 26th of April,
You do so much in like such a tiny space of time. It's
I know.
Wild.
It's crazy, but then I listened to one of your previous podcasts, and the gentleman that was on, amazing person. And I realized most people that are successful in business, they've done all of what I'm doing in different fields. They do the same thing. They put up with a lot, they deal with a lot, and it teaches them how to build their confidence, but it also helps them, drives their ambition to actually go and do their own projects. So
it's hard graft.
It's absolutely, it really is, but it's good, it's fruitful, there's so much joy in what I do. I love my job, I love my staff, I love the firm that I've created, but I never intended to create a firm, just complete transparency, and I don't know if it was the right thing, but I wanted to be there for, my priority obviously is being a mom.
Yeah.
So my daughter was on, when she was born in 2013, she was so sick. She was on like 4 types of medicine a day. The medication had to be kept in the fridge.
Wow.
And so when she was so sick, I was like, good gosh, I can't keep going back and forth to London and work.
Yeah.
I need to be like physically here and be present. If my daughter needs me in hospital, I need to be there. So that's when the business plan came around for the law firm. I wanted to create something so that I could shape my life around my children and my career. So I could be the mom that goes to do the school plays and the award ceremonies on a Friday morning. I did all. I was there every single day. I was doing the school drop-offs and the pickups. So, and I managed it, and I managed to run the law firm.
Yeah.
So it was created around the idea that, look, you know what, I need to be an at-home mom, but I also need to create a successful business where I can give other people the opportunities that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done, and we are giving a lot of opportunities now.
On that, though, would you say being a lawyer, that is probably the only way to get the flexibility that you need? Like if you're hired, you're not going to be able to achieve that balance?
Most law firms are traditional. Like my staff, they work either 8:30 till 5 or 9:30 till 5, 9 till 5:30.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, childcare's so expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a mum, but
I'm not.
No.
But I've heard.
But it's so expensive.
Scary, yeah.
So, like, most moms struggle. Most mum with a 9 to 5, and we hire remote staff, and we encourage people to actually work with us because
It's amazing.
You know, quite a few of my staff members are moms, so we work around them.
That's nice.
And I support them through that because I know my priorities are, if my child is sick, I'm going to be at home with them.
Yeah.
I'll work around them.
It's amazing.
And unfortunately, like, law is still a male-dominated field.
Yeah.
So people can't resonate with what I'm experiencing, which is why it's so important that if you want that flexibility, either do freelance work, become a freelancer, or set up your own practice.
Yeah.
And just be you, spread your wings and fly.
Oh, sorry.
No, please continue.
I was just going to say, so how does a firm start? I mean, because you did it to me, you did it in a time that I see as incredibly busy anyway, taking care of your daughter. So what are your very first steps into doing that?
Okay, so first, business plan. Having a business plan, you have to put pen to paper, make sure you have a strategy, a plan in place. You have to get approval from the Solicitors Regulation Authority. There's no way without approval. Once you've got approval, you can start trading. There's obviously processes that have to be followed. You know, you need to be registered. Nowadays, I think the rules have changed, and you may not need to set up as a company. But back then, when I did it, I had to get approval from the Solicitors Regulation Authority, and I needed to set up a company simultaneously. You have to have professional indemnity insurance. If you have staff, if you have clients coming into the office, you need public liability insurance. If you have employees, you need employees liability insurance. If you don't have them, you can't start trading.
And then by starting trading, that means literally going out or marketing yourself so that people come to you to be represented.
Yes.
And so the way you're going to make money on your firm is clients coming to you being like, represent me. And they pay you to do that.
Absolutely.
And so when you got that first client as your own firm, was that an incredible feeling?
It was, but it was quite a stressful experience because back then, obviously, like, I'd just given up my work in London. I couldn't be there. So we were hand to mouth at that time. And I was like, well, how am I going to manage? How am I going to, I'm struggling. And I was doing a lot of promo clinics, like law-related clinics, so that I could generate a name in the community. So I was doing a lot of free advice and assistance clinics.
Fine.
I'd go to charities I'd set up there, and I'd give free advice and assistance. And where I could help people, I would. And where I couldn't, I'd signpost them to other organisations. And I spent a long time doing that.
Yeah.
But even when we started generating work, I still continued to do the charitable side because I enjoyed it. I actually dragged my kids there as well.
Yeah.
So they were at a food bank, and they were help setting out the display, putting the tins on the table, and actually bagging up things for people that came to use the services. It was actually at the Unitarian Chapel. So I actually knew the vicar very, very well. He's such a lovely man. And I would go there every Monday. Every Monday I'd set up, I'd do the law clinic there, of course, I'd help. But that would be after we'd served all the people that needed our support. So yeah, it was an experience, and I made sure the children were involved so they could see how tough most people out there have it. You know, when they're coming in and they're struggling and they're getting tins from a charity in order to go home and feed their children. So it's really important for me and my children to have that experience. And my children now, because they've been nurtured in a certain direction, they are like that. They are quite, they're big givers.
Yeah.
They're big, they believe in helping others.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful, honestly. And I look back at it now and I'm like, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I did that.
Because it could have been, well, I'm sure it was really hard work, and it could have been an easier option to not do as much. So that's amazing that you did that. With you being a defense lawyer,
Okay.
I feel like this could sometimes be seen as controversial because,
Yes.
as you
I know it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what probably some people will be listening and be like, because you can be a prosecutor, right? So that's on the other side, sort of defending that side. So you have people that are being accused of being guilty, and they come to you.
Yes.
Do you take on everyone?
No.
No. So how do you decide that?
Complete transparency.
Yeah.
I only take on work where I know I can actually help them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are a firm. So if you read my reviews online, you'll see about 30 to 40 cases a week we decline.
Right.
On the basis that we can't, not everybody needs a lawyer, and not everybody's going to get the result that they need. So we do say to them, look, we don't feel it's in your interest to use a lawyer. However, it's ultimately your decision. We don't like forcing anyone or burdening anyone. Some people just need a holding hand, and if they want a holding hand, I definitely will support them. But for example, Grace, if you've got into some bother and you'd want to come to a solicitor or barrister and say, these are the strengths, these are the weaknesses. We feel, the lawyer states, I feel that more than likely you are going to be penalised for this because of the strengths of the against you. However, it's going to cost you this amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you would prefer complete transparency from day one and say, do you know what? I'd rather save that money.
100%.
I'd rather save that money. I'm going to get convicted with or without a solicitor. Maybe it's best I go do it myself and see what happens. And if people do decide to go and do it themselves, I give them the tools to actually go and support themselves to the best of their ability. Not everybody's born an advocate or has confidence to go and talk in court, but they go away with certain tools which can arm them to help in the proceedings themselves. Wow. So the goal is to help as many people as we possibly can. But ultimately, like I said, I'm very selective about the work I take on. Not everybody can have a successful outcome. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And because lawyers are expensive, and I know that is for good reason, because you work so hard and you know the things that we don't know about the law. So I'm guessing that's another thing as well, because you want to help people, but you're still a business, right? You still need to make money.
Yes, we are a business, but I guess we should run as a charity.
Really?
Based on the way we're set up. But
money's not the priority for you.
No, business, yes. Providing a means for my children, supporting my family, absolutely. But if you become a lawyer to make money, it's not the right profession for you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because greed overtakes everything. Yeah. There has to be authenticity about you. Yeah. There has to be something unique about you that people want to work with you. You have to have that genuine empathy. Nobody is, there are a number of great firms in the UK. We're very, very lucky. But it's law's more than a transaction. Yeah. And if you view it as a transactional thing, honestly, I just don't feel that you can get the best outcome for your client.
Wow.
And that's me,
lives,
though.
Isn't it? I guess that's the thing.
And the thing is, like I said, bigger purpose. If you're making a difference and you're changing someone's life and you're helping, isn't that a reward in itself? Yeah. It really is. Money is fantastic, complete transparency. Yes, we're all here to make work and earn. But if it's just chasing money, you're not going to be very successful, because people are going to see through that. Yeah. Definitely. And it's people's lives at the end of the day. Yeah. You can't justify. Like, I've had a client come to me last week. They're like, we were being charged this ridiculous amount of money. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't pay that. Yeah. But please don't pay me. Yeah. Because with or without me, you're not going to be successful.
Really? Yeah. Because you look at the case, you look at the evidence, and that's
I tell
your responsibility.
My responsibility is to act ethically and to ensure I look after the client's best interests. And that's it. For me, that's the most important thing. What's in my client's best interests?
Yeah.
And if you have that approach in being a lawyer, you will be successful.
Yeah.
You prioritize your client's needs and nothing more.
Wow. That is impressive, because I think we watch a lot and people look at defense lawyers and they're like, they earn loads more money than the other side. And that's what sometimes it can look like people go into it for. So I think this is a really wonderful way to look at it, because you have to be ethical. And
Absolutely.
And that's great to know. If you know they're guilty, that I'm guessing that's one of the cases that you'll be like, I won't take on because I know that you're going to get sentenced here.
Not necessarily.
Really?
It's right. So we're here to help support the clients.
So to make sure they get like a fair case in that.
Basically, so they have to understand their rights and entitlements. And some people that are guilty, and complete transparency, many people come and like, yeah, we did this, or we didn't do this. People are just going to be, it's a privileged relationship, a lawyer and a client relationship. So they are going to be upfront about everything. Our job is to make sure we make the best possible outcome from a terrible situation. And that's my focus, and it's always my focus. I would never, ever put someone on a stand who has told me in confidence that they're guilty of an offence. I would never, because my job as an officer of the court, I cannot mislead the courts. So if somebody's told me, oh, you know what, we did this, and then they go into the stand and say, we didn't do it, well then I'm breaching everything I've been taught as a lawyer.
Definitely.
The ethics, there are certain rules and regulations that every lawyer needs to adhere to. And our priorities are, we're officers of the courts. So if we're deliberately misleading the courts, that doesn't make me a really good lawyer.
100%.
So I would never allow any of my clients to testify to the effect that they're not guilty when they are in fact guilty. I just wouldn't.
That is really interesting to know. I think I love to hear that, to be honest. When you go into court, for someone who's not a lawyer, that seems really scary. Like you have to do like the opening argument, the closing argument, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Like it is all of that stuff. And I guess sometimes trials can be a long time.
Absolutely.
Does that literally just come from practice?
Yes. So to be the best you can be, you have to get court experience. You have to be in court. Depending on whether not all lawyers are, by the way, in court all day, every day. But if you want to be a good advocate, you'll need to be in court and you'll need to gain that experience. And the best way to learn is go and sit in the courtroom, in the public gallery of people that you respect and value in the profession. Listen to them. I was at a seminar the other day, a couple of weeks ago, fantastic chambers, and one of the counsels in chambers said to me, I've become an amazing barrister, but because I actually watched this case he's judge on his feet, and I learned so much from him. And some of the tools that I use right now are his tools.
Wow.
So she said, I duplicate what he says. And that's amazing, because not everything has to be original. Sometimes, you learn. You learn from other people and you take that and you use that to your advantage. But law is about being fair and making sure your clients get the best outcome from a terrible situation. And if you learn a few great tricks along the way, why not use them to your advantage?
100%.
And it's watching those. It's nothing like Suits. Those that are listening, Suits on Netflix. It's nothing like that at all. I love Suits. I was addicted to it when it first got released. But being a criminal advocate is not like that at all. It's, I wish I could say it was like that. It's certainly not. It's a lot more stressful, a lot more painful, but there's a lot more support required for the clients. And obviously television only shows what the public need to see, really, not the real journey. But yeah, it's an interesting job. I love it. I do love helping other people though.
You have it in every aspect of your life. That's the kind of person you are. It's not just work. It's just inherently who you are as a person. With the prep and the run up to it, that must take a long time, a lot of research, a lot of looking into it.
Yes,
you want to know it inside and out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just to become a lawyer, you don't have to know everything. See, that's one of the mistakes that I believed in. I felt like I needed to know everything before I set up. You don't.
Right.
The key is just get started.
Yeah.
Just start. Start from where you are and you will learn along the way. If you don't know something, go research it.
Yeah.
Never, ever go into court without the adequate research and the adequate information. Never. However, you don't need to know everything about everything before you go to court.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Got
it's
you.
crazy. Most people stop because they're like, oh, I don't know this and I don't know that. But do you know what? The key to success is just getting started.
Yeah.
Start and it will come.
Yeah, 100%.
And it has happened for me. I'm a living example of what I've said.
What about when you're in court and something that you didn't expect happens? You have to really think on your feet?
You have to be good on your feet.
Really?
But then that takes you back to the problem solving.
Yeah.
So if you're a great problem solver and you can do negotiation, law's not always whoever can shout the loudest. Law's about, okay, negotiation. What can you do in order to get your clients the best result? Okay, well, the client accepts certain aspects of the case but doesn't accept all of it. You can speak to the prosecution and say, well, okay, our client accepts this. Would you be minded to accept what our client, and let's reach an arrangement? And that's what it's about. It's literally negotiation, research, and advocacy. Most of my days are spent in client meetings and in court.
Yeah.
And only because I love what I do.
Yeah.
I speak to clients, they come and meet me. I'm not a believer of clients just meeting anybody or their first call being with a paralegal when instructions and I need to make sure that the client's getting the best at the outset. So I make myself available every single day, and even if it's a 15-minute phone call, I will make sure a person's booked in. I will call them. I will say to them, look, you need a solicitor to do this, or you don't. Don't use a solicitor. It's not in your interest, but ultimately it's your decision. If you feel more comfortable, then perhaps do this. And it's important for them. It's important for the general public. We don't want to lose faith in the system.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, most people believe that defense lawyers make a fortune, and unfortunately we don't.
Yeah.
Legal aid rates are absolutely appalling. And sometimes it's very difficult to make ends meet. So we don't actually make a lot of money in the profession. However, saying that, I wouldn't change anything about what I do.
You love what you're doing, which you can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because
nice.
you are changing people's lives, and you're doing it every day.
Yeah.
And you're meeting. I love talking. I love getting to know people. I'm the kind of person that will go into Tesco's, Asda, Waitrose, and I will have a conversation with someone in there. And it's just, you're meeting different people every day. You're having a conversation. You're getting to know you meet people at their weakest and at their strongest. And that's a great place to be, because a lot of people are grateful just to be heard.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes people, even if you can't help them, they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
Listen to them, spend the time with them. And it will make you a brilliant lawyer if you allow your client to speak. Don't overspeak them. Give them an opportunity to be heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing for me, being heard.
Yeah, 100%. With your cases, I guess you never know what's coming through, which I guess is something you have to accept. It could be crazy. Have you had a really crazy case, or one that you were like, wow, this is huge, or I never expected to defend something like this?
The first time I got my first case, I'm not going to mention the offence because it might upset people, but the first time I got a serious case, it was like, oh my gosh, I felt like, oh, am I an imposter? Should I really be here? But it wasn't. I did the best I could do in a situation like that. But now, because they're so regular, you know exactly what you're doing, how to do it.
Yeah.
And, if there's something you don't know, you actually hire someone to make sure that they know what, solicitors and barristers always work as a team.
Yeah.
So we as a firm, all of us, we generally collaborate with one another. If I'm struggling with any issues, which very rarely is the case nowadays because I do this religiously.
Yeah.
But we all kind of brainstorm, and, I had a young gentleman, not going to mention specifics, terrible situation. And his previous lawyer said to him, be prepared.
Yeah.
You're going to go to prison. And when I spoke to him, honestly, I was heartbroken because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that was it. He hadn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what? Thankfully, I can confidently say I helped him.
Good.
He's not gone to prison. He's still out there and he's doing a job. Had he gone to prison, his life would have completely changed because he was at his prime age.
Yeah.
You know, young.
Scary, isn't it? Like it can just change just like that, your circumstance.
You know, going out, walking.
Yeah. And
seeing an
also
incident.
hearing that, like you're going to prison. Oh my gosh, that's
what he was told.
Shivers through me. Like that is so scary, isn't it?
But then when I had this call, it was really heartbreaking for me because I was thinking as a lawyer, but then I was also thinking as a parent, how is parents going to be coping with the amount of stress?
Yeah.
When a lawyer's told them, pack a bag and take it to court.
Gosh, that is. And they would just go then. They would go straight to prison if they were found guilty.
Yeah.
Wow. Just
In that particular
case.
incident.
Yeah. That is
But
wild.
there's so many people that get told, like I speak to so many people.
Yeah.
And by the way, just complete, you know, just so you know, I make reference to, like, I'm just anonymous here. I'm not being very specific,
Yeah,
but
for
there's so many people that are told you're going to go to prison and they're not. They're absolutely not. With the right lawyer, they could potentially avoid prison with the right support, with the right mitigation, as long as they're given the tool. Unfortunately, many people, you know, if you put the fear in someone, they're like, in a desperate, vulnerable position, they're going to say, okay, you know what, we'll pay you whatever it is.
Yeah.
Please represent us. But it's the wrong way to take on work.
100%.
You know, and you don't lose sight of who you are and what you are.
Yeah.
Authenticity is the key to being a successful lawyer. And I've always believed in do the right thing from the outset. And you know what? The universe always gives you back, honestly.
I believe the same. When you said that solicitors and barristers work together, what's the difference?
So barristers they're called to the bar, which I was called to the bar, and solicitors have like other training. So they previously used to do something called legal practice course, but now they've changed it into something called SQE.
Right.
So
they are different jobs. Solicitors and barristers.
Yeah, but solicitors have, like, for example, I have a wig and I have a gown and I have a collar. Rarely use it nowadays, but it's there. Cost me a fortune, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it exists. And, you know, as a solicitor, if you want to just take the straight route, you can be a solicitor and you can apply to become a higher rights advocate, which basically means you can go to the Crown Court and have the wig and the gown and do that. You don't need the wig and the gown, by the way, just so you know.
Just so you know.
Just so you know, you don't need it. But as a higher rights advocate, you can actually go and do Crown Court cases.
Got you.
So, but generally, I mean, we have a barrister on our team. She's amazing. Barristers work slightly differently, and I feel that a lot of the time, because they're in and out of court, they have to think outside the box, which is why it makes you a better advocate in court.
Yeah.
So some solicitors like being in the desk and just working in the office, and some solicitors just like being out in court. I know when I first started, I just wanted to be in court every day. I wanted to be at police stations, I'd be in a court. And I did that religiously for so long. Now I'm like, okay, I'm good at my desk.
Yeah, like
I'm good at desk.
You're good at this point. Like,
No, I'm good only because, like, I think, okay, my kids are finishing at 4. I want to go pick them up.
Nice. Life changes, and it's good to be able to
Absolutely.
adapt with it. That's the whole point,
Absolutely.
isn't it? That's a big message. Like, you don't have to stick to something forever. You're able to be flexible and adapt. As long as you're open to that, you're going to do well. So what is the goal? What's the dream for you?
Oh, God. I'm laughing because I have different dreams a lot of the time.
I can imagine. What is it right now?
Okay, so I used to run a lot before. In 2017, 2018, my dog got sick. So I nursed him at his old stage of, like, you know, when he was about to pass away. And I injured my left knee when I was nursing him in his old age. Because of that injury, I wasn't able to run again. So I stopped running for a long period of time, and I've just recently started again. So I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So my goal is actually, my husband doesn't know this, but I do want to run a marathon.
Nice.
I want to do that. And so I was actually like, I'm determined, like, because I just think if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything.
Yeah.
And my goal is I want to run a marathon, and I am going to run a marathon. God knows when, God knows how long it's going to take. I will do it.
Nice.
So recently, I think I had my ninth or 10th run recently.
Yeah.
And I can do 6 kilometers. So I'm happy.
It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Business wise, I'd like to set up a department in the law firm that allows me to dedicate more time doing like pro bono clinics.
Yes.
So people don't have to wait for such long periods to get the support they need. We get lots of clients like saying, for example, immigration, they have to be put on a waiting list before they're actually seen in these charitable organizations. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to be able to like just give people the advice and support they need, and then they can be on their way and do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So women of domestic violence, I'm a strong advocate to support as many people as I possibly can. I used to work with the Women's Welfare Association, and every Wednesday prior to COVID, I'd make myself available on a Wednesday and give free consultations for women or men that were struggling with domestic violence. And I'd tell them and help them, how do you get a non-molestation order? How do you get a restraining order? What do you need to do?
Amazing.
And giving them the tools to actually go and do it, because you can get an emergency injunction so to safeguard yourself and your children if need be.
Yeah.
But the bigger purpose is to set a department that's funded by the private work, but where we've got a staff that are working for the community, but not funded by legal aid, because with legal aid it comes with all its own boundaries, regulations, and it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
I want to be a good lawyer, and I'm always going to be trying to improve myself, but I want to serve a larger community, and I think I will. The goal is like within 5 years to have that pro bono department set up with its staff, with it running itself. People can just do a drop in, get the support they need. People that are struggling financially, that can't pay for a solicitor, but may not meet the requirements for legal aid, they can just phone the services like an advice line, get the support, get the tools they need, and go and do it themselves. So the bigger goal is to actually help as many people as we can, which we're already doing, but without the numbers on it, without the money transaction being involved.
Well, I have no doubt you're going to do it, and I think it's an amazing thing to have that goal. So thank you so much for sharing your story. That was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And I look forward to seeing all the amazing work you're going to do.
Oh, bless. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for watching How to Become A. Please like and subscribe and share with everybody you know, so we can continue to interview many different industries and share their stories with you. Thank you so much for the support.